1982, the race almost nobody wanted to win. All the leaders at some time stopped, crashed, spun, ran out of fuel, all in the last few laps. Finally, Riccardo Patrese won, having already spun and got going again. Absolutely bonkers.
The year that stands out for me is definitely 1994, but not for positive reasons. It was the year where Karl Wendlinger crashed in free practice coming out of the tunnel, and it was dramatic. It meant the end of my career because our joint sponsor decided to pull out because of the severity of the accident. And Karl, for myself, was a childhood hero, and seeing the size of his injuries was pretty bad, and I remember that very well.
Mid-80s, as a boy, watching for the very first time onboard footage of what it was like to be in a Formula One car. I don't know which car, which team, or precisely which year, but I remember very, very strongly seeing what it was like being on those very tight, cramped, claustrophobic streets of Monaco. But more importantly, seeing for the very first time just how insanely fast the cars were and being blown away by it. It was the thing that made me want to work in the sport, and it's the thing that makes me enjoy it still today.
2008 Monaco Grand Prix was my favorite. Started third. It was wet, hit the wall, damaged the car, or damaged the rear tire, had a pit stop. Had to go very long through the middle stint, but ended up coming up in the lead. I think Massa had spun and gone wide several times, who was in the lead, and won my second Monaco Grand Prix.
1989, it was my first race in Formula One in Monaco as part of a race team, and it was a huge reliability challenge. Unfortunately, we had a DNF and we didn't finish the race.
99, watching home from the TV, Häkkinen put the car on pole. There was a yellow flag on the track. He kind of acknowledged the yellow flag by just raising the hand, but still going absolutely flat out. I thought at the time that was very cool.
1996, as proof as to how unpredictable Monaco is, 3 finishes, Olivier Panis taking his one and only win in fantastic style.
2002, my BAR Honda days with the team. I was called to go to Monte Carlo for the Grand Prix at very short notice and had to fly in by helicopter, which was probably one of the most exciting things I think I've ever done. And I kept having to pinch myself because I thought I was dreaming.
1982, chaos in the last lap. Pironi and others running out of fuel in the tunnel. Riccardo spun it, and then he won it.
2001, my husband and I were watching the Monaco Grand Prix. Enrique Bonaldi in a completely underperforming Arrows was holding up David Coulthard in a flying McLaren for around about 40 or so laps. We were screaming at the TV for him to keep in front, but unfortunately he came into the pits in the end and it was all over, but it was great.
2009 was the year we won the Monaco Grand Prix for the first time with the Braun GP team. My fondest memory from that race was Jenson Button took the flag, drove around and parked in the wrong area of Parc Fermé, and ended up running down the track to go and collect his trophies, which I wasn't too sure whether we were going to get penalised for that, but they took pity on us and let us off.
Monaco 1996 with Olivier Panis winning in the Ligier-Mugen. I'd worked at Ligier in 94 and 95 as part of the TWR group, and Olivier used to ride to the circuit with us in the morning, so it was a very, very special moment when he won there in Monaco.
1983, this was the first race I watched. I watched it with my dad in the front room as a 14-year-old. I remember it really well because I remember watching Keke Rosberg, who started in 5th place. Now, it was a wet race and he was in a non-turbocharged car, and all the cars ahead of him were turbocharged. And he started on slicks, which was a real gamble compared to the rest of them. So he started the race and he was sliding everywhere and it was real edgy seat stuff, but he went through the field and actually won the race. And the thing that really sticks in my mind is at the end of it, his hands were so blistered because it was manual gear changes that he could hardly lift the trophy. And that really sparked my interest in Monaco.